So increasing organizational capacity. Okay, for this session, these are some of the outline which you are going to cover, maybe in the morning session. We will talk about building project capacity. What does building project capacity mean? This is one of the issues which you are going to cover. Why we build project capacity, and how we build project capacity. Really, these are issues that we thought under the first topic. Then we specifically focus on, when we talk of organizational capacity in project management, I believe the role of project manager is very high. And therefore, what do you think responsibility of the project manager? Then we will discuss major responsibilities of project manager. And then, what are the skills required from the project managers? A set of skills are very important for project management in an effort to implement a project. And so these are issues very broadly, but which we cover during this morning session. So, please try to feel free to talk, raise the questions and to answer at all. My name is Dr. Varsisa Kajo. I received my PhD last year, Ethiopian calendar. So this person knows me very well. From scratch. You know, we both attend our elementary or whatever one school. They even attended Addis University together, 1991. You can tell it. So I have about maybe 11 years this teaching experience and higher education institutions. So all in all, my area is management, first degree management, second degree public administration, third degree in public management. So I'm very much familiar with this course. I hope we will share that thing. So I'm not expected to collect your name or whatever, because you are a bit learning. So when you raise the questions or when you try to talk to me, I think you have to tell your name. You have to introduce your name. Okay. Having said this, let me directly go to the discussion. I'm sorry, this plasma is cutting one of the line. I don't know why. Maybe should I minimize? I don't know what's wrong with this. Okay. Okay, building project capacity. You know, in any organization, without having the requisite resources, I mean the human resource, the financial resources, something that you know, but the physical resource, any implementation of a project cannot be successful. If your, if your organization is weak, if your organization is, or the capacity of your organization is weak, in terms of manpower, in terms of finance, in terms of other resources, so it's really challenging for your company to successfully accomplish the project on time, on time, with the desired quality, within the, traffic is very high, yeah. So I'm gonna lock system. Don't blame me. So this is why it says, successful project requires, it says, having people with the right skill, knowledge, and availability to deliver the project, and they ensure whatever. So this is why building the organizational capacity in project management is really important to you as a person specializing in project management. So when we talk of building project capacity, then we normally think of three things. I mean, we normally do three broad things. Number one is assess. Let me know that. Okay, so these are the three things which we are going to do when we think of trying to build organizational capacity project management. One is assessing what capacity is required. You have project on your hand. Yeah, you have project on your hand. And then when you think of your capacity, when you decide whether you have the requisite capacity or not, number one, do this one. By scheduling your project activities, try to assess what capacity is required for you. That's number one. Then think of what is on your hand. Okay? That is what the project really needs from you as a project manager or as a team. Second, think of what you have, and then see whether there exists any gap or not. Okay? Once you see the gap could be really in a positive direction or in a negative direction for that matter. If you saw shortage, for instance, from the side of having human resource with the requisite skill, then what do you do? But if you have all the requisite human resources skill, but if you lack some supportive staff, I mean one who can properly handle the finance aspect, the human resource management aspects of the project implementation, then what do you do then? Very simply. So, okay, I think I lost one title. The title is why building organizational capacity is important. Why? I think I've tried to share you a few points before. One of the benefits of assessing and trying to build the capacity of your organization in project management is that it really helps you define specific capacity requirements. Unless you assess and try to see the gap, you don't know specifically what capacity requirement you should have. I mean, how many human resource, with what quality, with what quantity, you don't know. But once you assess and got the gap, it's really visible to you. Yeah, look at this. New skill may be required. Yeah, therefore training may be needed. New staff may be needed to be hired, or new partnership may be sought. Okay. So to define this specific capacity requirement, I think assessment is really mandatory. You have to know who you are in another languages. Okay? What do I need? That means, what does my project need? What I have on my hand? Really, there any gap? Second, even to develop a robust plan, a good plan doing the same is important. I don't know if you understand me. Robust plan means what?
Strong plan.
Yeah, strong plan. A strong plan is the one that really based on, strong assumptions. Strong assumptions like strong assumptions about the requirements of the project in terms of human resource, quality, quantity, and so on. In terms of finance, in terms of staff, in terms of whatever. That's why for a robust plan based on realistic assumptions and expectations, you need to know what capacity is available and what additional capacity will be required and so on. So if your, assumption about your environment is weak, if your assumptions, I think planning for the future. Planning is for the future, and if it is for the future, things are based on assumptions. Things are based on forecast estimations. So if your assumption forecast estimations are good, your plan which you are preparing for the future is gonna be robust. That's what I'm saying. Therefore, it's another reasons why please you can do a rate question. To secure the promised or the required resource. What does it mean? It's also another reason why building capacity. What do you think? To secure the required resource, once again, capacity assessment is really important. So, what's your name? Zafaya. I feel you are right. Yeah. Tell me something. What? Yeah, what is it? Secure. Yeah. How can I help you do this? Yes.
Ascertain the availability of resources.
Ascertain availability of resource. So how can I help you? How can I help you do this? I mean, how can I help you ascertain?
Assessing the analysis, what availability of resources you had. Okay.
I think they are good. You're welcome.
Securing the promised required resource means, as it is mentioned before, from it is initial, from that you have the material, you have to secure them for the future that what you have before.
So is this thing really based on, can the information that you get from assessing your capacity really help you do this?
Securing means from it is initial, that what do you have before. You can secure that. You have to have that. Then you are planning for the future.
Right. Unless, once again, unless you assess and see your gap, identify your gap, then how really you can do this? Definitely it's impossible. That's why a clear analysis of capacity needs usually make it much easier to get the resource. Once you identify your gap in terms of quantity and quality, I hope you understand what I'm saying, the quality and the quantity. Yes. You understand the means. Quantity, I mean number. Number of resource, particularly human resource required. Quality, I mean specifications. Specification means the skill, knowledge, the required attitude, whatever. So, once the gap is there and with all its details, now you can be sure that I need number 1 this, number 2 this, number 3 this, number 4 this, no more. Even when you are assessing the gap, sometimes your gap may show that your project team is not good, is not well staffed, for instance, in terms of this. So then what do you do again? If you are not well staffed with human resource team who can advertise, recruit, whatever, then what do? If you are not good in this again, communication to the public, if you are not good, the gap is there from team who are responsible to raise a fund and so on and so on. You can see. So in one way or another, building organizational capacity in project management is a must if you want to be successful. On top of even the importance I have mentioned, even this thing will help you, I think, for your personal life. Now what you need? Now what you have? See your gap. Then try to fill that gap. As simple as. So how? How? Still the topic is not there. The title is not there. I mean, yeah, the topic is how to build capacity of your project management. I hope you will receive full slide. It's very. I hope the practice might be difficult. Theoretically, it's very easy to understand how to build capacity of your project. So imagine what do you do even without looking at those steps. What do you think first? Review skills and the stuff against your work plan. Yeah, this is what you can do first. Review your skill and the stuff against your work plan. What does this mean? Please show us something. What was your name? No, you. Don't say another. Hello. Hello. What does this mean? A simple term mean.
If you have some project, so to successfully implement that project, you have to review the competency level of the staff. So according to
you told me one term. Something wrong. Okay. Review skill and that he said reviewing the competency level of your staff as per your work plan. Your project on your hand, one. You have a work plan for that project. What does work plan mean? I hope you understand again. Yeah, work plan, activity versus resource. Activity versus resource in a specific period of time. It's a work plan. Your project, your work plan, and then what do? Is you try to see your skill vis-a-vis your work plan. For instance, if activity number one, the first activity I'm talking, in project management, what is the first activity in project management? Or in project implementation? Can you share?
Project identification.
You identify your project, really. That project is on your hand. Then what next?
program identification.
For instance, if the first activity is procuring the resources required, if the first step is to procure the resources required to properly implement your project within the coming, for instance, 3 months, look, activity is procuring the resources required within the coming 3 months. And then you have mentioned in your work plan that you need first degree in procurement management or in purchasing or in accounting, whatever. But when you look at your skill and the stuff on your hand, you have only one. Now there is a gap. Look, there is a show the gap. Your work plan is 3, but you have only 1. So reviewing is really the most important one in an effort. Review other capacity factors. Sir, when we talk of reviewing the skill and stuff, you have to make it as detailed as possible. As detailed as possible by using, I don't know if you know it, by using worksheet. On the big worksheet, you prepare your work plan, and then you try to see what you have and what you don't have. Why don't you share us a lot of things to your group, really?
I am supportive staff.
Oh,
I am an engineer anyway. Right now I'm working in construction companies, construction companies.
Oh, as a supportive staff, you're working? I don't know, that is really important. I'm saying a team who is responsible to carry out all the activities of the human resource. Do you have a team of human resources who can you now help you in recruiting and selecting the required skill that you should have? Don't take this thing as easy things. Assume that you have 3 people in your HRM department. One graduate in HRM, another graduate maybe, say, no, civil engineer, in human resource management. One in management, another in human resource management. If you are going to recruit high level expert in engineering, in computer science, or other technical field, can really your human resource help in procuring these human resources? No. So your human resource team is deficient, really. It's deficient. The same thing is true for finance team. The same thing is true for your public relations. The same thing is true for the one who should raise the fund, so whatever. Anyhow, this is the most important one while you are trying to identify what you call build the capacities of your project. Then review other capacity factors. Review other important capacity factors. Second step. Step 1, skill, reviewing skill of your resource, your human resource. Second, review other capacity factors. Other capacity factors. What do you mean? Other capacity factors. His project with the team of project management is enough for the implementation of your project. Not working. What are other factors that need to be considered into account?
Logistic.
Logistic. The logistic, okay.
Those internal and external factors.
He put it very well, internal, external factors. When you come to the internal factors, like your company's overall management system, is very much important, sir. Your management system, how your project really organized within your company. I don't know. Next, organization of project management, structuring organization. Is it functional? It's important. Is it matrix? It's important. Is it projectized type? It's important. We have to consider again the system. You have to see once again. So other factors, like I said, the overall management, the system, the policy. This cannot be philosophy to you. Those things are really there when you go to the company. If management is not facilitative in implementing that project, you cannot reach anywhere. Yeah, you cannot reach anywhere, believe me. So those things like share the goal, vision, strategy, maybe governance, and power, authority, relationship, is also very much important. I think some of you may be working in governmental institutions, and you know issues of power and authority. Sometimes, believe me, the project management department is there, the project manager is there, the resource is there, but those teams do not have any power. The project manager and his team has no power to properly execute and make decision on his position. Really, what is the consequence of this on the implementation of it? So see, you have to, what I'm saying here is when you're reviewing other factors, you have to see whether that position, that project management position, department, has got or has been delegated with adequate authority or no. What is the relationship between the project department and top level management looks like? Sometimes they seem antagonistic. Yeah, sometimes we observe that they are conflicting. In this type of scenario, can you be successful? Unless otherwise you clean it. You in advance see to try to give all the so these are really broad concepts that you have to very broadly have in your mind. The third steps is now prioritize capacity gap. You have reviewed your skill and staff. Imagine the first step. Second step, You have reviewed other factors which I have mentioned, like the system, the vision, the strategy, the management, authority, responsibility, relationship, whatever. The third is now try to prioritize those gaps. Prioritization of your gaps. So what does it mean? Prioritization of gaps mean? Just gaps.
There are many gaps.
Many gaps, yes.
In organization or project. You have to prioritize in order to their importance and intended solution for that prototype gap.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Asnata.
Asnata.
Yeah, you have to identify the big challenges or the big problems that hinders to achieve our plan.
Identify the most important problem from the least important. Number one gap that should be fulfilled. Number one, this one. Number two, number three. When I'm saying number one, that means unless that gap is corrected, unless that gap is taken care of, there is no way, there is no means that you can properly implement the project. Priority. Sometimes even you may ignore the least one. The least gaps can be ignored, because through time you can correct them. If for instance, if you don't have a project team leader, assume that you don't have project team leader. If you don't have, for instance, what we call a project department even. Oh, it is serious for me when I very rapidly judge. Why prioritization is important? Why prioritization is important? In my laptop is out of okay. May I read the one question? I see. But you think prioritizing your project gap is important, and how you prioritize? How do you prioritize? Just a hint, normally.
Prioritizing is important to tackle project quick. Sometimes we lose time in
Understanding really. The criteria that you use really depends on the nature of the project on your hand. Yeah, the nature of the project on your hand may determine which criteria is important and which criteria is less important, and so on. What's your name?
My name is Aris. To prioritize the project, First, you may focus on country's program, policy program, or GDP program.
Think of project to be implemented under business companies. Government projects are quite different from maybe business projects. I think this is one of another very important activities in building the capacities, developing solutions to address the gap. This is really very serious. Identifying the gap may not be difficult as such. Even prioritizing those problems may not be as such difficult again. Because you can even prioritize your gap depending on the severity of the problem, how severe, how compulsory the problem is. Now the issue is giving solutions to address the gap. You secured the project, but you are highly, very badly in need of capital. It's an assumption. Yeah? You are very badly in need of capital. Then what do? What is the solution? I expect there is no formula, as you told me. Yes. But imagine maybe possible ways of acquiring funds. In this regard now, your finance manager could help you. Your finance manager could help you in possible ways of acquiring finance to run your project. Number one. What do you do, for instance, if you need XYZ type of specialization, which even you cannot get from the country? Very technical position, but you cannot procure from domestic labor market. Just imagine maybe how not prioritizing, not identifying, but how identifying possible solutions for each and every problem, every gap that you have identified is really challenging to you. So in this regard, please don't do alone. Don't do alone. Me as a project manager can generate every idea is foolish. Have a strong team from finance, from whatever, and then create a forum whereby possible ideas, recommendations are generated. Very wonderful approach. How do you address the priority gap that you identify will depend entirely on what they are. If you define the capacity gap clearly, it will make it easier to address them. True. In some case, there may be just one solution. Okay, if that's the case, that's fantastic. But the reality is not the case. There is no way. I don't know. I don't think that particular gap has only one solution. There is no reality. If you need money, for instance, there are possible ways to deal with this money. You may talk to bank, you may talk to friend, you may talk to, I don't know, varieties of approaches to the debate. You need to be aware of the different options and their cost while being decisive. Let's see those things that again evaluate. Because still you can mention alternative solutions for the gap. Each alternatives do have their own advantage and disadvantage too. If you decide to go bank to get loan, see advantage, disadvantage, really. Maybe cost of capital is very high. Maybe repayment schedule of that loan could be too short, whereby you cannot afford it to do the same. If you go to another, so that's why you need to be aware of the different options and their costs while being decisive and moving. Okay. These are maybe possible directions of solutions. In fact, possible directions of solutions to fill the gap. What I mean is, I don't know if the problem is related to shortage of human resource. If the problem is related to shortage of the requisite human resource, then additional human resource may be one among the solutions. Additional human resource. That means procuring, recruiting maybe additional human resource. Well, it's another big tax, really. Again, recruitment. Well, this also be contractors and the consultant. If you don't want to recruit, you may think of this one. It's just direction. These are not something that you take for granted. No. I'm just telling you the directions. You can think of this. Under this, recruitment is one option. The consultant may be, I think recruitment is a bit costly, you know. Recruitment is costly. Not it is process, but after process. Once you recruit, then it becomes your permanent employee. You keep on paying him all the salaries together with all the benefits. That's what I'm saying, a bit costly. Therefore, another alternative could be there. Talking, outsourcing, sometimes possible, consultant. Then, is there any possibility of doing this by partner? Partnering or partnership is also another option. Now, a further option is to contract out. Maybe you know that one. Look, the first one, additional human resource. Either recruitment, either consultant, either contracting out. Second direction could be, you don't need to recruit, you don't need to go to outside consultant, you don't need to outsource, but you do one thing, that is upgrading, increasing the capacity, skill of the available resource. What's wrong with it? I know that this could take you time. That it will take time to upgrade the skill of your resource. For instance, if you do not have a project team leader, you can pick someone among the project officers, and then for a month you can send him somewhere whereby he can develop the skill required to become a team leader. That definitely an option. Which option is really feasible to you is you who can decide. So, for Etika, consider how you can make a link to the required skill, or now that's the case. Does this capacity exist in the building? In building the network or in existing partner organization? Is that the case? Really, it's important. Well, technical, what maybe really what do we build? It varies. It varies. When we think of increasing the skill, it could be technical skill, it could be interpersonal skill, it could be even you can go to this one. A skill required to properly, skill required to properly communicate your issues to the external public, or properly handle your finance or fundraising issue. Yeah, there are now several training institutions who give training on this. What is one thing? On fundraising. That's another, how to talk to the donors. How to negotiate with other financial institutions. Really, it needs a skill, and therefore, if you are in shortage of that type of skill, I think you can upgrade the skill of your staff in that area, and then use them up later on. What's wrong? I think this is the details. So, one way or another, the fourth step for me is really important step. Because you are supposed to develop a solution for the gap. Solution number 1, number 2, number 3 for each gap, imagine. Each solution shall be evaluated. Cost-benefit analysis will be made on each of the alternatives, and then maybe feasible one. So the fifth step is adapt your plan and negotiate any issue. So this is once again before implementation. Before implementation, but what do you think this is? You have prioritized. You have developed possible solutions for your gaps. Now, before rushing into the implementation, quit once, and then consider one thing, particularly issues of negotiation. Anything that you can share with me? Let's say, share me something. Is there any negotiation important? Possibility of negotiation, maybe with the government, possibly with the local Kabbalah administrators. Is there any need for negotiation with them? Is there any need to negotiate with the donor institution? I'm expecting something from you, sir.
improve the project and so that together in this conversation.
Let me go back and read the previous issue I raised. You need, for instance, it's a rough example. You need high-level technical skill which you can hire from China. But if the Ethiopian government, for instance, the concerned institutions do not allow you to hire that type of skill from outside, I mean, if recruiting foreigner is not allowed, or you have to fulfill some requirement to hire foreign employee, then what do? Should you close your project? No. Closing the project is maybe, I don't know, then try to negotiate with the concerned government agencies or institutions, whereby you can able to get those skills. What about funding? Funding is also there. Funding and the time frame to address the gap needs to be built into your project plan or whatever. What is important? You may need to persuade other of the need to spend part of your annual budget on, I don't know, sometimes you may need negotiation in this area as well. Sometimes negotiation really makes a difference in your project. If it is NGO, how much percent should be allotted for administrative purpose? Yes? How much percent? Maximum 30%. I heard that NGOs are negotiating with the government to increase the percentage even to take up the percentage to like 50%. For administrative purpose, 50% for this is really the sixth and another important implement the molecular capacity building up. Implement. This is the implementation stage. Very challenging stage once again. You implement a solution that you have identified to fill your gap. If finance was the challenge to you, and then you decide to borrow it from the bank, or you decide to collect that money by maybe selling a share of your company, now it is time to start it. Now it is time to start. How can you get money from the bank? Another set of activities that you have to do. Set of requirements that you have to fulfill. Once you have any necessary agreement to implement whatever, now the most importantly, but you need to monitor. I think implementation. In the implementation stage, there are things that we need to consider. Did you get me? If you have planned you know, to get money by expanding the number of your stakeholders, then how do we do that? Do we have human resources skill who can do this? If you don't have, again, human resources skill who can properly help us in securing the money we need, then what do you do again? You may go for outside sourcing. You may go for outside sourcing. Consultancy may be required. Even at the implementation stage, say, it's very difficult to. Once you implement, then as usual, monitor should follow. See your progress. Whether the solution that you have developed is progressing well, on the right track, is in the direction to, to solve the problem or gap, should be some monitored. Capacity building at organizational and individual level. You know, we have done a lot of things. We have done a lot of things. From reviewing your skill and reviewing other factors to developing the solutions, evaluating the solutions. Now, this is making your organization and the individual within your organization to own those things. Own means internalize. That's interesting term that you use, yeah. To internalize. What are you doing this? Why? Huh? Why it's important? Particularly for sustainability of your project. Your internal staff and the organization as a whole should internalize, should own this. That is called embedding capacity building at this. Once everybody is internalized, those things, I think they can sustainably, as an organization or as a single individual, they can run that project sustainably. After a year, for instance, the same problem may come, sir. The same problem, I mean, shortage of capital may come. In that case, I hope if they are internalized the things, they will not put themselves into chaos. Because they know it, because they own it, because they internalized it. Immediately they can, dig out very wonderful solutions to the real problem. Okay, I think I'm just giving you a direction. Let's try to read in this so that, I don't know, tomorrow or the day after tomorrow you may apply and you really word it. Please raise something before I'm moving it to another topic. Raise something. Another. Yeah, you are transiting. So, yeah.
Most of the time in our country, there are a lot of projects, but there is no skilled manpower. Most of the time, accidental project management, have it in any organization. So how do we tackle such kind of problem?
I think this issue is very clear. Most of the time, it is said that we don't have good experienced project managers. Most of them are accidentally hired, and because of this, many of the projects fail down. He is asking me why. Huh? No, me. Why this happened? So, I think this is very.
Okay.
Yes, right.
Most of the time, the project is failed because of the people are not professional, but simply assigned on the project. The major thing is the professional problems making the driving force of the failure.
I don't know. I can give you one example if it is really important to you. Maybe 2 years back, one of the university on some project. This is reality. The project is about studying the status of cities in Ethiopia. Then the project is financed, was financed by UN Habitat. And the university assigned someone, pick and put someone of managers interested. Now that person owned the position, and then started running the project. Then he recruited the project manager recruited some individuals who can assess the status of some sampled cities in Ethiopia. Addis Ababa included, Garbamin included, Nakamt included, and some other cities, Awasa, whatever included. Then they assessed, they summarized, and a workshop was prepared, organized. On that workshop, a big minister of the country was present, and he was listening at the conference. He heard one of the report saying, last year, imagine this is the finding of the professionals. Last year alone, about 30,000 people in and around the Nakamt town was taken by flood. 30,000 Salasaship. About 30,000 people were taken by flood around Nakamt town. Just imagine. In fact, I don't know Nakamt very much. In my opinion, Nakamt is a forest area. Am I wrong? Yeah, the forest is the flood is unbelievable, really. There is no flood there. Flood will be there. I don't believe that this much people were killed by Now you know that the minister heard this thing and then automatically raised his hand. Please stop here and then see it again. Yeah. Because sometimes you know it's beyond your imagination. Okay. So this is one of the problems. But in general, we have limited scale. We have limited scale in project management. Yeah, before 5 years back, I think there was no university in Ethiopia. There was no university in Ethiopia who trained their graduates with project management. Any university you remember? No university in Ethiopia. Very nearly, some universities and some private colleges started specializing their graduates in project management. This is the most important. This is the most important in our mind. I hope in the near future we will have ample number of graduates specialized in project management, and I hope the profile of our graduates, the profile of our country in project management, sooner or later it will be improved. I think this is not simple numbers. It's not simple number. Okay, thank you very much. Anything that you raised? Okay, the other topic is, when we think of increasing organizational capacity in project management, the most important person in the organization who we should talk about him is project manager. Yes, project manager. So what are really the responsibility of particular project manager? Number one. Second, really what are important skills that particular project manager should have? I think these are things which we very quickly go through. It's not new to you, sir. It's not new to you. You know it, but I'm just making you remember. Okay, so to put it in a nutshell, the overall responsibility of the project manager is, to ensure customer is satisfied. Yeah, customer is satisfied. One, that the work scope is completed as per the quality agreed within the time framework. These three things are very much important. ensuring issues of quality and customer satisfaction, and the completion of the project within the time specified time framework. In general, is the ensuring this is really the responsibility of the project managers. More specifically, these are duties and responsibilities of any project manager. Providing leadership, we will come to those things in fact. Providing leadership in planning, organizing, and controlling, coordinating activity. You know this thing? Does not try to do it alone. Planning means, maybe elementary to you, I'm sorry. Is it elementary to you? Oh, what do we do in planning, really? When we think of planning, what do you think, sir?
We gather information.
We gather information.
Having record one data, then we break down the work or tasks
Okay.
into different workable
You mean breakdown.
breakdown.
Okay. Sister.
In planning stage, we came to a specific goal in objective of project or the organization.
Yeah, this is, I think, even from your background, when we think of planning, yeah, this is among project objectives. Project objectives are also called what? Okay. What's wrong with project objectives? What are project deliverables? What are project deliverables? Okay, activities which are expected.
Outcomes.
Yeah?
Outcomes.
The outcomes. Deliverables are the outcomes. The project manager is there really to do this, to clearly identify project objectives. Yeah. Issues of communication is also there. I'm speaking very grossly, in fact, very broadly. Planning is not limited to only setting objectives, but planning also needs a lot of making decisions, as you say. Yeah, maybe breaking down the gross tasks into maybe smaller, operationalizing. Maybe communicating the objectives to STEAM and the concerned stakeholder. It's also the responsibility of this person. Organizing is also another. Securing resource, identifying sources of different resource, arranging organization, arranging organizational structure that fit, that help proper implementation of that project. Sharing, responsibility, authority, relationship, designing this authority relation, accountability relationship. I think these are really related to organizing. Decide which tasks should be done in-house and which may be whatever. Assign responsibility, delegate authority, create an environment in which individuals are highly Yeah, project managers are project leaders. Yeah, project managers are project leaders, and therefore, project leaders should be able to do this, creating conducive environment whereby the project team can, can comfortably work. Probably we'll come to this thing again later. It's controlling, these two. Plan, organize, control. Very broadly. Control. For you, what is it? Yeah? Managing. Understand? Yeah. Controlling means.
Controlling means manage the project or activities.
Is controlling mean managing? Maybe controlling is one activity in managing, say. Corner? The corner. Corner means there.
Comparing what we are doing now.
Good.
Yeah, assuring the previously set plans, are they actually met or going well?
Okay, I think you know those things. Let's see, because time is a bit rushing, let me get very quickly go. Let's see skills of project manager. Project manager to be successful, yeah. I say project manager is a very important person in project management. So he needs to have well-versed, very diversified skill. Those skills, strong leadership ability, ability to develop people, good communication, good interpersonal skill, ability to handle stress, sometimes problem-solving skill. Let's try to see each of these. Sir, sometimes these things are not only important for project manager. These things are also important to live smoothly with our neighbors, to live smoothly with our family members. Those skills are really important. I advise you read. So let's see them one by one. Strong leadership ability. There's one definition. Leadership means, it says, getting things done through others. Do you believe? Do you believe in this definition? Leadership means getting things done through others. Do you agree? This is a question, yes or no?
Yes.
And the newcomer. Yes. Oh, you are welcome. Really, I missed you. Okay, yeah. Please speak up.
Because a single person could not be a leader. A single person could not be a leader. One person by himself could not be. If he has not a follower, he could not be a leader.
Okay, let's get to that. This is another idea, man. I know.
Contemporary management style not through just leading, but just leading through doing sometimes, not pushing people to do, but you have to participate on the job, particularly in project type of organization.
Okay. You mean you don't accept the definition?
Yeah, particularly in service organization.
You felt difficulty to accept it.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah. Leadership is getting the thing is that leadership, the role of the leader, this means the role of the leader should be facilitator. The role of the leader should be creating an environment whereby your team work the job. This is what it means there. I know that leader means a person who can lead by doing. Sir, he mentioned one thing. Leader is one person. Below a leader, maybe 100%. Yeah, 100%. So 90, whether we like it or not, 99.9% of the project is done not by that leader, but by others. Did you get me? Therefore, he should create an opportunity whereby those 100 people honestly, motivatedly do the project task. Can you get me those things? It's really interesting for me. To inspire, create vision among the result of the project. This is one of the leadership abilities, inspiring others, creating a common vision among the project team. Creating a vision of results and the benefit of the project. Participative, consultative leadership is high, establish whatever parameter and the guideline for what needs to be done. If a leader is cannot able to inspire, for me, that leader cannot produce followers. Did you get me? A good leader do have many followers, not followers only, many followers. Good leaders do have many followers. If a leader cannot produce a followers, you cannot call it a good leader really. So how can we produce a good followers? This may be one. Inspiring the people. Oh, inspiring maybe more. I don't know. Inspiring me.
Brainstorming. Initiating.
Yeah, initiating. Motivating, encouraging, can encompass all those terms. Involve and empower the project team. You remember? Project manager shouldn't try to do everything alone. Delegation is a mandatory. Give them position, give them authority, give them responsibility, and then create accountability. Finish. Don't say, "I'm now better than anyone." Involve individuals in decision. Okay. Empower individuals to make decision. Why? So, to put it shortly, leadership ability is among the skill very much required from project management. By the way, maybe under a particular project manager, there are many different expertise. Highly educated people are there. Yeah, highly educated people are there. You may have people who can assume, who can take high responsibility even more than you. Therefore, be inclusive while you are making a decision. Participate them. Democratic approach is the most important, and even sometimes laissez-faire is important. If you are less qualified than, if you are weaker than the team, even participate maybe what you call laissez-faire is the most important. Give much of the authority to them. Make them responsible. The only activity that you do is think of accountability. They own authority, you provided them resource. If they fail to do, think of the way how you can make them responsible. It's finished. Let's see another. I think you can raise things.
Lesson and before you are done,
Yes.
on the inspiration,
Yeah.
we have this case. I agree on the idea of these things, but there is another views by one man commanding or by do or don't do. They are successful most of the time.
They are successful.
Yeah, no, it's yeah. I have seen. Successfulness, yeah, they are more successful if the leaders is not inspiring the followers. That we have discussed on this. He has to inspire. I understand.
Yeah.
Without of doing this, by saying do or don't do, by commanding, leaders are successful most of the time. You can't say, how can you do? Say, for example, in military science, there are leaders. How can you be responsible for these things? Anyway, I agree with this idea.
You mean command, autocratic type of leadership sometimes work, you mean? Sometimes work. Yes. Yes, it sometimes work. I agree. I don't know whether we are talking about project, and
On the leader.
I know, yeah, the skill required for project manager. That means you are talking about capacity development in project management. I'm not sure whether really military and project management. Think of one. Second, for a while, one thing that I can advise you is that for a short period of time, yes, by forcing your team to do the job, you can be successful. But I'm sure sustainability of your project cannot be short. Yes, for instance, all your team members are salaried. They all are family. They have to get salary. Not to interact with their family, not to feel hungry for some period of time. They may work with you. They may accept your command. But for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, never. Never. In his, yesterday, I was training on human resource training in Europe. And one of my students told me that human resource is the most important resource as well as the most complex resource. Is it true? Yes. The most important. The human being is not a robot, say. It's not a robot, something that you can that you can simply adjust. No, you cannot do this. If one of the project members feels that he's excluded from the decision, his manager is pushing everything upon him, imagine what that person can do. Deliberate underperformance is there. If the worst come, they could also damage your company. I heard several companies burned out deliberately by their staff. Very small. This deliberate. They can be taken to the jail or something and they think nothing comes. People can think to that extent, that's what I'm saying. So smooth environment, participatory environment, friendly environment, environment whereby open communication is there, environment whereby very close gap, very narrow gap between the leader and the worker is there. It's really a civilized ways of leadership. Very civilized ways of leadership. 2 days before I went to your university and I saw the director of the university, and I've never known him before, in fact. And when I saw him, he enters every office. He enters there, registrar, the finance, the library, there. I observed a lot of things is how he treats everybody while he is talking to them. Very friendly, very closely. I cannot tell you. And I understood that this person has very good leadership skill. Very friendly, very. Okay, I hope. I know that you know it, but you read the progressive purpose. You read those things. This is another. The second ability, the second skill is ability to develop people. As a leader, you must be qualified in this. Develop a setting. All the time you have to worry about how you can improve skill, ability, and attitude of the worker. Yeah, you have to worry about it. So, committed to train and develop. Use project to add value to each person's experience base. Yeah, you have to use, each project as an opportunity whereby your project team can learn something from each project. Yeah, I think projects are different. Am I right? Yeah, projects do have, each project do have unique characteristics, and therefore, what that you learn from the first project is quite different from what you are going to learn from another project. So, giving them an opportunity whereby they learn unique experience from each project, thereby add their value is really important. You must be this type of person, this type of leadership. Believe that all individuals are valuable to the organization. Yeah, think of when your leaders, where are you working, I don't know, probably some of your leaders try to pick few people and then try to go only with them, thinking that the other employees are no more important. It says every employee, each employee has some value. The only thing is identify how and where you can make use of each individual. What does this mean? What does this mean, sir? I don't know. I don't think that I'm wrong. Oh, similar case, sister. Do you believe that every employee has value to the organization? Sister, what does the reality looks like? Reality, I mean, maybe your company.
Or not your own capacity, they are different organization.
No, I'm asking your experience from your company, from the institution. How you feel really? Okay, stress the value of self-improvement. Stress the value of self-improvement. Give an opportunity to each and every employee so that they can improve themselves, maybe by giving them a chance to grade from BA to second degree. What's wrong? Yeah, give them an opportunity to educate themselves. There's a lot of things really. You can enjoy, I hope. So you are welcome back. So let's continue from where we stopped. So we're discussing on important skill for a project manager, and I think we have seen the first two important skill. The first one is the leadership skill. Second one is what is it?
ability to develop people.
Yeah, you have to have a skill that help you to develop the skill of your worker. Yeah. Third, this is another very much important, once again, communication skill. All in all, very effective and frequent communication with all the concerned stakeholder is very much useful for any project management. Understand where I'm saying effective communication. For me, effective communication means, can I share with something?
It's a two-way communication.
It's two-way communication. A communication whereby the two parties understand each other. So we expect like that even, frequency is very much important. Regularity of communication that matters. Only once in a year and 2 times in a week communication really brings a difference in the effectiveness of your project. So, communicate regularly with the project team of your own. Yeah, you should have kind of meeting, formal meeting you may have. You could develop a system whereby you can communicate by using other technologies as well, like email could be one thing, Facebook could be another thing, other technologies could be there. If you are very far apart, working far apart from each other, there are also other technologies that you know. One or another, use all the possible means, but try to very regularly contact, share, discuss with your team member. Know each other. You have to know each other. So, subcontractor, whatever. These are really important groups that you potentially expected. High level of communication is especially important. In the project. Yeah, just imagine at the early stage of your project, things are unclear. Yeah, things are disordered. Even you and your team members may not know each other very well. Therefore, early stage, very frequent meeting is even far more important. Think of good oral and written communication skill. This is something that we can develop as normally the project manager should develop. Good oral, you can be a good orator if you frequently practice it. You can be a good communication skill. You may have a good written communication skill once again, not by speaking frequently, but by writing frequently again. By writing, by practicing how to write, for instance, a good memo, internal memo. Very persuasive type of memo that you may share with your team, inspiring type of memo. No one involved with something that you can occur. practice, practice, practice makes you really perfect. And that's it. Really important, skill. Spend more time listening than talking. Do you believe? Do you believe in this? Spend more time in listening than talking. Yeah, it should be. Project manager, you are leading about, say, 20, 40 people. If you are spending much time talking to them, that means you are commanding them. Yeah, that means you are commanding them really. But if you are giving much time on listening, that means you are making them practice listening. So give much time. I think there is a thing now. I remember some 5 years back, I had a leader. Leading one department. Now that leader was, I remember, he's an Indian citizen. And sorry, the Indian culture. He started everything and finished everything by himself. Really. He's the one who produced the agenda, he's the one who discussed on the agenda, and he is the one who concluded on the agenda. Yeah, members are supposed to just sit down and say, give on. It happens actually. That this kind of person cannot be. One person can, I don't know. A single person cannot listen. Okay. Effective communication establish credibility and build trust between you and the youth leaders. The more you are open to your member, the higher the possibility that your team member share idea with you, give you more idea, more input, more feedback. The more the trust they are gonna develop upon you. If you are aggressive, and if you are the only person who dominate the stage, try to dominate the stage, people try to fear you. People try to even go far away from you. People, if you are not open, if you are not open, your employee started to be reserved. Yeah, they will be reserved in speaking out what they have in their mind. So, provide timely feedback to the team and the customer. We are not lucky in this regard. In general, with the black people, we are not lucky in giving feedback. How many of you are really very sensitive to email of someone? Are you really sensitive to email of someone, whoever he is. Maybe good person, bad person, rich, poor. How much responsive are you to their email? If you see these white people, I think some of you know. Whoever you are, whatever you request to them, very, very timely they respond to you. Very timely. The answer, the response could be yes or no, whatever it is. But they respond to you. Give me scholarship. Immediately we don't have a scholarship. Yeah, that's it. The same thing is true for customers ask us a lot of things. There should be a dedicated person who should be responsive to this. Create anatomies for that facilitate timely. Well, please think of and then try to own such important skill that new project manager should have. There's also another skill, the personal skill. Interpersonal means, anyone on that? Interpersonal skill means yeah, as a leader, the relationship that you have with your employees. Do you have a smooth relationship? Do you have a considerate type of relationship with your? Do you have very friendly relationship? What type of really relationship you have with your worker as a leader? Again, it matters on the success of your business. Look, develop a relationship with each person on the project team. Develop a relationship with each person on the project team. Previously, I told you about the director of your university college. He enters into each offices and then, even though it is not a project, he enters into each offices and then, very, very friendly speak to each and every member of the department. Not only to the representative, the department head, but each and every. That's what I saw really. Try to learn about personal interest if possible. If possible, go to that extent. Try to, if this is your team member, then if possible, try to learn the personal interest of each of these members. What are these? What do they want from the project? How they want to develop their career structure in the future. I don't know. How do you see this thing? How do you see this thing? Because sometimes this thing will be abused. There is a occasion whereby this thing is really abused by our leaders. Personal interaction with individual without being intrusive. There is something. Oh, where is your friend? It's where is no, okay. I think some of your members will not. What is this really? Just open-ended questions and do a lot of listening.
Giving the environment for the partner to speak
Definitely. That could be on the meeting, on the workshop, whatever, or even it is possible to you know, put some what we call some suggestion book. Box? No, not box, but book. It's a book. Put it there and then let everybody write, speak, say what they wanted to say. Sometimes, yeah, you know, employee may not confront directly to the leader. Therefore, they feel comfort when they say something very sacred. Give them a chance. And read. Feel what they are really thinking about. Listen what they really interested about. There is a lot of these are challenging things to understand. It's not yeah. Yesterday, I went, not yesterday, before 2 weeks, I went to one big government office. Yeah, I went to one big government office, and that office arranged the suggestion book I told you. It is there, and the many people, you know, gave their comment on it. And I just interested to read what people are reading, and yeah, what people are writing. Oh, one of person write like this. Why you're building only this standard? Why you're building on a stand? That means there is no one in it. Only building is stand. Right? There's a lot of things about it. I think this has strong meaning. There is a problem of customer service in this. That is empathize with individual when special circumstances. You know how you can develop a good interpersonal relationship. Even you have to go to the extent of participating on different social circumstances. This could be their, I don't know, other social activity matters could encounter someone. In that case, be friendly close to them, share with them. That's really create this really wonderful relationship with this person. Think like this anyhow. Oh. Well, this is really what we need. This is really what project manager needs. Use good interpersonal skill to try to influence thinking and action of others. Really, what does it mean? You know, because of a good interpersonal relation that you have with your worker. This skill of yours can influence the behavior of your workers. Because of the good interpersonal relationship that you have, really add values to your leadership in an effort to influence the behavior of your workers. Yeah, your good relationship, people like you. People wanted to follow you. People wanted to cooperate you. Even though you are not paying them good salary, because of the friendship that you have, a good relationship that you have, people will cooperate you, help you, honesty to you. It's really, so, I think use good interpersonal skills to deal with disagreement or divisiveness, possibility of conflict or debate. Again, this skill really help you to solve any potential conflict or disagreement between or among employees or between you and the employees too. Okay. One more important skill is a project manager should have the ability to handle stress. Stress, really, what is stress? Stress means? Yeah? Pain. Okay, pain. Conflict, it's not conflict, sorry. Pain is a bit better. Burden. Yeah. Stress means, varieties of challenges at the time. Exist the possibility that you have to work the whole night. You have been working the whole day because the project should be submitted after whatever day, then the whole night you may be forced to work. Do you have this type of really skill? Look, there shouldn't be panic. Panic means because of the burden upon you, don't feel terror. Huh? Don't feel terror. Don't terrorize yourself, that means. Feel confident, and decide, convince yourself that you can do it. That you can write a very persuasive type of report to the donors within the coming 2 days. Remain unruffled, able to cope with constantly changing conditions. Yes. Because among the factors that bring stresses are changes. Yeah, changes are always there, and the changes come with something new, and that something new really creates a burden upon you. And therefore, you have to be able to think that change is always there, and have a skill by which you can cope up with the change. Oh, for the first time, the bank has shown a green light to you that it will give you a loan. But after a deep analysis of the bank's creditor team, they found it would be not feasible to get a loan. Oh, in that case, what do you do now? This is really a change. What do you do in that case? Don't upset again, cool down, and then search for other alternatives. instead of rushing it to, instead of rushing it to close down or I don't know, shut up you. Okay. Act as a buffer between your employee and the top management. Buffer means. Huh? Yeah, serve as a focal point. I mean, focal point. A link. I mean, okay, serve as a link. A project manager, you have employee here. Your team may demand a lot of things, which you cannot alone. You only alone cannot decide. Employee may ask salary. Employee may need additional safety. Employee may need whatever. In that case. It's you as project manager who should negotiate on behalf of your employee with the anyhow. Have a good sense of humor. Stress is likely to be high when a project is in jeopardy of not meeting its objectives or whatever. That's okay. You have to have a skill to always there. And even conflict or disagreement is sometimes believed to be good. Yeah, it's believed to be good. Conflict should be there. Think of why. Why conflict is sometimes important. So the most important thing is that how you handle, do you have the skill to solve, to deal with this potential conflict, sources of conflict? Yes, as simple as these are your team members. And because of personal interest, they disagree. What do you do in that case? As a project leader, should you keep quiet? Sooner or later, if you keep quiet, it will harm your project success. And therefore, take a lead, and then try to encourage project team members to identify problem early and solve them on their own, which is related to really empower, even sometimes go to that extent. Empower your team member, give them authority and the power to your team members so that they can proactively identify potential causes or potential sources of problem, and then give them the power to react to it in advance. It's a great thing. Let them do it. Can I share something on this? I'm happy if you share me, if you give me a few ideas on this. What was your name, sir? Please share me. experience that you have observed in your company vis-a-vis problem-solving abilities of your leaders or even the team members? Anything that you observed from your practical experience?
First of all, during the weekly meeting with my secretary, so if any conflict arises, we discuss together and then I try to solve the problem like the one solved. So every conflict.
Is this something that you actually doing?
Yes.
Oh, you meet them, but then you try to smoothly solve it. Who is another? Share with me, please. Over there. Ini sebenarnya yang saya itu juga ada tanda in our office, there are always there are conflicts are there. See?
Thank you. When there is a problem, first of all,
I'm sharing your experience.
yes, collect the information. What is the source of the problem? What is the source of the conflict? Then, after collecting the information, we can collect those who are conflicting other the management, the clearly about that thing, then we can decide, we can make a decision.
Anyhow. Yeah, it's important skill. This is another important time management skill. As a leader, I told you 3 important qualities of sometimes you call 3 or 4 cornerstone of any project. The scope is there, the quality is there, the time is there. You have to finish your project and deliver to your customer within the time framework you agreed. This means definitely, if you are not good in managing your time, you are putting your company in trouble, incurring extraordinary costs. Therefore, as a project manager, first of all, you have to have that type of discipline. You have to have that type of discipline. One who, avail himself or herself in the office at 2 p.m. if that is the rule, and then leave the room on space, It's a discipline. Lunch time is there, morning is there, leave time is there, whatever. You have to, as a leader, you have to have that discipline first. Then you can push your worker to follow, to have the same discipline. In managing your time, the most important task is prioritizing tasks. The task to be done may have 3 characteristics really. The most important, somewhat important, least important. The most important task is the one that can cost you if it is not implemented today. It's number one. So, today first I have to do that type of jobs. Then the medium one. Then the least important one, maybe perform it tomorrow evening. Maybe perform it during night time. That's not urgent. That not harm you. Well, okay, then to prioritize your job. It's one of the means by which you can manage your time. If you spend much of your time on routine tasks, you spend half day on routine tasks, that doesn't add any value. I think really this is show willingness to delegate. Another means. Don't try to do everything because you cannot. So try to use, the 8 hours of each and every member of your work. I think you are supposed to do 8 hours per day. Is it right?
Yes.
Are you working 9 days? 10 hours? I don't think so. Thanks to one of the scholars who were fighting, before 1970, 1918 in America, people were working about 13 days, 13 hours in a day, 1 3. 13 hours. The whole day plus 1 hour from night. Then seeing this exploitation of workers, scholars try to write many things, book. Especially if you see Robert Owen, you remember. He writes very wonderful theory of the negative consequences of exploiting workers. Anyhow, today each of us are trying to work 8 hours per day, and therefore, if you are 50 times 8, how many hours that this company has? It's too much hours. Unless otherwise, therefore, you delegate. Give them authority to make decide. You cannot make use of all these hours. If you try to do everything by your own and keeping other idle, or keeping other not to decide on their jurisdiction, this is another problem. If you are forcing everybody should come to you and then pass through your signature, whatever, you are spending much of your hour for nothing. So delegation. Be a project manager. Is there any meaning? How can you be a project manager now? That means how you acquire maybe the above mentioned skill and how you fulfill your responsibility I mentioned before. Experience make perfect, really. Gain experience. How can you gain experience? Use any opportunity whereby you can participate yourself in different projects. It's the only way out. Yeah, use possible opportunities. Different project gives you different experience. Then you will be wonderful. Seek out feedback from others. Don't be close-minded. Ready for comment. Ready for criticism as well. It's a really good quality. Conduct self-evaluation, learn from your mistake. Self-evaluation. Is there any reality? So have you ever sit down and then evaluate yourself? No. I know that many of us, do not do this. If you are that kind of person, definitely you can identify your gut. You can identify your weakness, your strength, and then try to minimize it. Interview project managers who have a skill that you wanted to develop. That means to get more experience from them. Experience sharing with a well-experienced project manager gives you a lot of inputs. I hope issue of delegation I raised several times. This is, I think, the last one. Managing change. I already raised, I remember. I said also this word is whatever best you are, whatever very beautiful your plan is, the upcoming change may interrupt, could interrupt. Because change is always there. Change is always coming to your company, knocking at your door. So are you ready? Are you ready to welcome? To welcome those changes and make use of those changes. Changes are not bad. Yeah. Technological, I cannot say technological change is something bad. Imagine how technology really made life easy to us. Today, today we can sit down at our home and then you transfer your money, imagine, to your friend somewhere. You can purchase it. It's a change to the bankers, a change to whatever project manager of that bank, and therefore, how can, so change may initiate by customer, by the project team, I don't know, unanticipated, caused by anticipated occurrences, whatever. The source could be, could be money. No, this is important to say today. Yeah. Yeah, change at the start of the project, procedure needs to be established regarding how change will be documented and authorized. That means how changes are properly kept recorded and then authorized and then respond to it. We should have a mechanism by which we can deal with the always, the frequently occurring change in your environment. Yeah, if you are making aware of this, I hope even your team can perform this. Yeah, customer. Customer are, for instance, asking to add, customers are asking you to add additional functions on your current product. Otherwise, we are going to switch to another company. This is really a change coming from the customers. And this thing should be properly documented and given proper authority, proper attention. And then a team could be established. You can identify, develop potential solutions between these. Okay, let me tell you something. Even I don't want to go through the deep discussion of change management because I hope you learn change management in another module. Yeah, I believe so. But as a leader, you have to have that skill. That skill which really helps you manage the always occurring environmental change, so as to minimize its impact and maximize its benefits. Okay, thank you very much. Please, you are welcome if you have questions or suggestions. Organizational structure of the project or structuring the project. Second, organizational learning. Because these two things do have something to do with capacity of the organization in the project management. Unless it is well structured, well organized, and at the same time, if there is no experience of organizational learning, I think there are lots of things that we miss and that we lost too. So let's first see the first topic. Found that organizing a project is a bit difficult. It's challenging always. Project managers sometimes face difficulty to organize their project. Maybe for one or the following reason. Why is it a bit difficult? Why is it a bit challenging? For one thing, I already informed you that each project I believe it to be unique. Yeah, each project are unique. That means the structure that you use for the first project cannot be used again for another project. So you have to redesign it again. And for another project, especially if your organization is a project organization, always structuring. This is one of the challenges really. So the uniqueness and the short duration of the project, only complexity to say is duration of the project is also another area of challenge. Maybe a 6-month project could be there, as short as 3-month project. Had this been, a lifelong activity, you establish once and then it will work throughout, probably with minor improvement throughout the rest of the organization's life. The shorter even the duration of the project, the more it is very difficult, tiresome, burden for the project manager to organize again and again and again. Okay, multidisciplinary and cross-functional nature of the project is also another thing. Yeah, implementation of the project requires multidisciplinary professions, like some from maybe engineer, another from maybe another from another from you now, bringing those things together and forming, creating well-functioning structure by itself is challenging. Engineers and maybe physicians may face difficulty even to communicate. Sure. The one who came from hard science, from soft science, it's not easy. It's not easy. Okay. So how to choose appropriate project management structure? Maybe really it depends. We do not have exact formula, or I cannot recommend this type of structure best fit all. Rather, what I can recommend is tailor-made is appropriate. Tailor-made. The best system balances the need of the project with the need of the organizations. Yeah, there is no justification that authorities of project manager shouldn't override authorities of functional managers. And for unjustifiable reason, again, this one's interest, functional managers' interest or authorities shouldn't dominate that of project manager. So maybe the best structure is the one that balances. That is theoretical assertion. The one that balances the interests of the two. So let's see the different type of structure. Let's see the different types of project management structure. The first one is functional organization. Imagine when we talk of this, when we talk of structure, please have in your mind organizational structure of particular organization. Organizational structure. Maybe the president is there, maybe below the president, vice marketing, vice finance. But think of this structure and where should it be the location of your project. This is what I'm talking about. So in this case, this is one approach of organizing your project, functional organization. That says different segments of the projects are delegated to respective functional units. Please concentrate your mind. Say marketing department is there, engineering department is there, the finance could be there, other department could be there. So when the company decides to delegate implementation of particular project under either engineering or finance or marketing, depending on interests, the nature of that project, it is called functional structure. Yeah, coordination is maintained, this rule of Please see this thing. Let me show you. Yeah. Now, if you see, this is the president position. These are, supportive, like finance, whatever, and administration. This is human resource. This line is a line indicating line department or line managers. Yesterday, I think, not this class, not that class. This direct line that comes from the president, and then the review goes to the different functional departments. They are normally called line departments. So if a particular project is decided to be coordinated either under this department, the global line, either under this, or under this, or under this, or under this. This type of project structuring is called functional. Yeah. I think you have got some picture in your mind. Yeah. That's why coordination is maintained through normal management channel. Yeah, there is no separate separate department for it. The existing staff under particular functional department is supposed to carry out activities, all activities of that particular project. What do you guys any advantage, disadvantage, whatever of this? This type of structure is commonly applied. This type of project structuring is usually commonly applied, used when the interest of any of those functional departments dominates project. That means if, for instance, if this department has very strong and high interest from that particular project, then it is recommended that it is good if it is implemented under manufacturing. The same thing is true for the other. Yeah. So it's used when functional areas has dominant interest in the project's success. Yeah, if it is, for instance, if the project type is engineering a new system for particular manufacturing company. Yeah. The project type is very technical, and the engineering design for ABC manufacturing company. In that case, I think this engineering department may have, the engineering department may have very, very strong interest from that project, and I may claim this project should be carried out under my control. In that case, it could be delegated to the engineering department, because those people who are working under that department is assumed to be very expert, very relevant, very, I think, right person to implement that project instead of creating, you can get some advantage, disadvantage. Guess. Believe me, one of the advantages is you don't need to create or you don't need to bring any change on your existing structure. Because those structures are already there, and the only thing giving them the responsibility. Flexibility. Do you believe? Do you think this type of structuring really brings this flexibility in the operation of the project? Yeah. Why it keeps flexibility in the operation of the project? Because it is why
Organize the local structure. There is a local structure, there is no presence, and there is no credit.
Okay. Assume that if you have in case established new department, is it really very easy to for instance, you know that department, you have to employ new workers, the project manager is there, all the facility is there. If you wanted to shift it to another project, what do you do with that department? You cannot very flexibly, move from one project type to another project type, even a bit challenging. But if engineering project types come, you can put it under engineering. If manufacturing related project come, you can throw it under manufacturing. If customer service or marketing project type comes, then you can put it under, you know how easy, how flexible it is. That's this, I think. Indeed, the expertise are expected to be there because those departments are really functional departments organized on the basis of some expertise, like engineering, like manufacturing, like marketing, like whatever. This really add up some values to the success of the project. But it keeps on. Easy post-project transition. That's what I say. Post-project transition. Once you finished, you accomplished the first project, then you can very, very easily move to another project by assigning it to another functional department. Maybe think of how disadvantage may arise. Think of that, and I think you have to. Please.
No structural change can flexibility be original.
There are different views, no? No structural change means, I think some of you understood me. No structural change means when the project comes, you are not supposed to design new structure because those 5 functional structures are already there. You have manufacturing department, you have engineering, you have management, you have whatever department. So when engineering project comes, you just put under it. Nothing that you touch. Any change you bring on you. That's what I'm saying. Flexibility, I think I try to explain this. Particularly whenever you try to switch from one project to another, it's very easy. It's very easy. Because there is no employee that probably there is no working flow that you have for the sake of that project. Please think strongly, things are already there. Instead, think of how. Why lack of ownership, lack of focus, maybe integrational problem would be there. Yeah, why the reason? Why do you think the reason for is a bit slow? Slow. Why slow? Anyone can give me a hint? No detailed explanation. Hint. Why slow? Because most of the time, this type of project organized under functional department is believed to be an additional job to them. It's an additional, it's supplementary, it's not the main task. Yeah, the main task is there. This is a supplementary task, and sometimes it has focus. Okay. This is dedicated team there. Dedicated team. So dedicated team, projects are dominant from form of business, and therefore team operates as a separate unit under the leadership of full-time project manager. This type of organizing is very common in the case of project organization. That means in a company where its main activity is to implement varieties of projects, this type of structure is common. So in this type of structure, there is a separate and a big department who is responsible for the overall implementation of that project. Dedicated teams are there. It has project manager, below the project manager, it has once again different teams responsible for the different aspects of project. So I think you can, there is like this, for instance, it's a rough example. So these are, okay. It's a project manager there. It's believed to be a dedicated team. So below project manager, you may have a team working under the project manager. So, why maybe that maybe this type is also the case. This type is also the case. It's a project maybe sometimes we can separate like this. Beta project manager, whatever project manager, especially if your company is very big and if the demand becomes as a result of very diversified and complex type of project. In that case, maybe you may group your project into project 1, project 2, project 3. So, beta project, whatever project manager, whatever project manager. Then below those different project manager, once again you may have different. see advantage or disadvantage that you observe. It's simple. Oh. Dedicated team types of project structuring is believed to be very simple as compared to function. Why simple? First, cohesiveness is there. Yeah, cohesiveness is there. Why simple? Think the structure, how it is organized. And imagine why it's believed to be simple and that is considered to be an advantage. My interest is not just to tell you the different types of structuring the project. No, that is not my interest is you have to know the different functioning and their advantage and disadvantage, and therefore tomorrow when some project comes on your hand, which type of structuring is really good for my company vis-a-vis for the successful implementation of that project. I need you to differentiate like this, not to go down or whatever information I know. So why simple? Yes.
It has its own project manager and the team main responsibility.
Yeah, it has its own project manager. It has. It's true, but yeah, it's true. But does this make it simple?
The employees don't have any additional work to do. Their main job is on the project.
It's good, interesting again. Interesting. And any other direction?
Maybe they don't have any hierarchically they are simple, they don't have, or they don't expect to report.
This is really what makes it simple.
Yeah, to report for many.
Yeah, there is no higher, in case of functional maybe, you know to even the possible expertise under functional department has to consult the manager and maybe the latter is in one or another. In this case, is very believed to be very short. Make it simple. This also make it fast. The fact that you have mentioned it. Experts are there, team are there, project manager is there. The main responsibility to implement those activities, and therefore it's not supplementary, or it's not additional, or it is not something appendix be attached to them. No. That's why it's a big cohesiveness is there, because members are because the right members are believed to be gathered together. Cohesiveness. And the linkage. But expensive, yeah. That's what I'm saying. A bit expensive because it needs a dedicated department, dedicated team leader, the secretaries, maybe a group of experts, whatever. So it's expensive, whatever. Internal strife. Internal strife could be there. That internal conflict may arise. Oh, project department, their project manager, he or she is always highly paid. The worker working under the project usually, their benefit is relatively much higher than the other company. Me too should benefit from that project, and therefore some kind of division between the project department and the other parent department, functional department of parent company could come. That's another. This is this is very common in the reality, and I also observe it. They are the one who is highly paid, and therefore why don't they do this, such, that? We give several times to complain up and down. This really comes as a result of conflict of interest. The other maybe all it is. What do you think this is? Matrix structure. Matrix means hybrid organization structure, or this is the case in which the project team are accountable to dual managers. On the one hand, they are accountable to find maybe say for instance, marketing. On the other hand, they are accountable to maybe project manager who is working on, say, marketing related projects. After the experience, after 90 you are no good. Maybe you ate too much food. Yeah. I had good, including Ivan. Hey, sorry, sorry, the difficult name. Okay, what is this really? You told me that you're working construction company. But construction companies are usually projectized organization. Am I right? Constructing a big building for this kiln, finished, then they move to another construction, maybe dam, maybe road, maybe another. They are projectized organization. Would you share with me the structure of your company?
Our structure from the top of the management, higher management of the project, like each.
Give me the structure, please. Give me, tell me. Yeah.
From the head, there is a manager, general manager.
There's a general manager.
The deputy of general manager.
Deputy? No, deputy there.
There is a different branch of construction.
No. Tell me the main one.
The man is the manager of the...
No, manager is there, deputy is there, then?
Construction is applying different type of structures.
Okay. Where is the location of the project?
All over the project, almost all the project.
No, I mean in the structure of your company. Okay, I couldn't agree. I couldn't understand it. taking the structure of your company into account, where is the location of the project manager? Where can we find project manager in your structure? Okay. Yes.
Concerning
You have some experience?
Yeah.
Bank functions are no project functions.
But in our context, there is no director project manager.
You have it.
Directly report to the president. He's under the president. There are a lot of VPs. VP finance.
Is he parallel to VP?
No, directly report to the president. There are 8 VP, around 8 VP, VP finance, HR, VP facilities.
Look this structure. This person, this person, this person, this person, and this person. I hope they directly reported to the president. These two are staff. They are not. They do not have what we call command authority over those departments. Project management department in Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is similar to this.
Yeah, because there are a lot of projects, IT projects, HR projects, our organization under transformation. So there are a lot of changes which leads to more independent establish the project management office. So almost 200 people are from different places working under project management.
I don't know whether you understand this graph or not. See it in the film with the high bright light. How this project is really organized. So, 2 minutes. The question is, will you tell me how this project, this picture, how the project was structured? I have shown you in case of what we call projectized. I have shown you how it is organized. In case of functional, I have shown you how it is organized. Please tell me how this project is organized in the case of hybrid. Hybrid means mixing. Dual command. Command from the project manager, command from functional manager.
Under the director program.
Just listen.
The remote, the west, the left one, left.
Yeah. This is director of project, this is it says.
And that in the projects.
This is project administration. There is different projects. Yeah, project A, project B, project whatever, C.
The command is under the student. one to the project manager, and the other is directly to the president of the program. Management.
So where is dual? This is my question. Where is dual command? Yes.
After the second line is like as a functional structure. Before to the project the instructor project in the different project is responsible for the was dual is on the second line. Second line. Yeah, that's the responsible for director.
Yeah, director of projects.
Yeah. The different projects also responsible for director projects.
Okay. Look, this is statement. Project participant reports simultaneously to both functional and the project manager. It is the team member who is going to report to project manager on the one hand and the functional manager on the other hand.
When we see the structure, director of project, engineering, manufacturing, and marketing, it is just as a project type structure. When we come to the second layer, different sub-projects working with other functional needs. For example, project A, sometimes, get instruction from engineering department.
Project A.
Project A.
Yeah, project A sometimes get instruction from
engineering department.
Okay, engineering department.
One. I think reference is one.
Okay.
So in this case, it's like functional structure.
I think it's a good attempt, except small clarification.
Okay.
It's a good understanding.
Okay. Director of the project is directly report to the general director of course. Next, there is another department. Let's say project A. Project A may be administered by project administration is there, as well as other engineering, manufacturing, marketing, and the like. So under each department, maybe there is small project teams. Then they are directly.
Okay. For instance, you are telling me that under this, there are small project teams.
Maybe if your project A is performance by the department, then under this department, those that means is working under the department directly report at the same time to project director as well as those functional departments. That means engineering department or those
Let me clarify it.
Is it really complex?
Let me clarify it. I think, as to my understanding, there is dependency between different departments, I think. For example, to start, engineering, electronic engineering work, there must be completed project 18 work. So,
Where is project 18?
under project administration.
Where is project?
Under director of project, then project administration there. It's
That's fine.
This is not clear. It's not clear. As in terms of the definition, matrix, some supporter or some members is report to one manager, two managers.
One manager.
Yeah, one manager. In fact, many members to report one manager. They also directly take from the two managers. But this will not be clear to which line is compared to this. At what point two lines the line is not clear.
What do you think like this? It is as a project director of projects. Under this, there are different projects, A, B, C, D, whatever. This project is a SEO. This project is performed by someone else. Team. Team is there under this. One person from this. 2% from this, another person from this. What about this? How do you interpret this? How do you interpret it? What does it mean? You know, these are the one who constituted the team here. This team reports to this, and this team at the same time reports to their specific functional managers. This person reported to this person, these two reported to this reported to this. Why does it look like that? Did you get me? Yeah. The definition is right. The participant reported to two managers, one project manager, another to their respective functional managers. So these are the number of the participants in this project. Number of participants in this project. In this project, you know, the study project doesn't need any participant from this department. Rather, it needs from maybe. It's gonna be the matrix. Now the question is, matrix by itself has got different forms. Very strong, very balanced, maybe a weak form there. Weak, balanced, strong, depending on to what direction really the authority is squeezed. If the authority is squeezed to the functional manager, or is it squeezed to
functional manager?
Functional manager. I think it should be clear. The authority, in case of weak, functional authority is much higher than project manager's authority. in commanding over that project. Balanced, it is okay. In the strong form, the project manager has broader control, higher authority. Functional departments often act as subcontractor to the project. That means it has no as such commanding authority over it. It's supposed to do what is what it is assigned to that functional department. Okay, can you see some advantage, disadvantage, whatever of this? Is it it's believed to in the bracket, believe me, as compared to functional. As compared to functional, it is believed to be efficient. Is it true? Imagine that the team members, one from one department, some from another department, some from another department, they constituted the project team. Can this make them efficient? Relatively, definitely, as compared to functional. Functional is an appendix, I told you, yes. The workers under the functional department assume that this is not my main duty. I'm not here to work. What is delegated to me? Rather, their function is really another. Maybe. So that's why, as compared to functional, it is a bit efficient, strong project focused because the team is there. Because the team is there. Either post-project transition. Why do you think? It's very easy to transit to another project at the end of the completion of the first project. Why? If this project is finished, worker who came from electronic engineering department will go to that department. The one who came from finance will go to the finance. There is no need for, I don't know, there is no need for working a lot of executive strategies. That's what possible flexibility is there. Yeah. The main problem is there is a conflict. I should command over the project. The functional department says, no, you are here to support me, not to command over the project, and therefore it should be me who should command over the project. Always the conflict, this functional conflict is very, very common. Let me see another diagram. Okay. It's more, there are, scholars try to give, in case of matrix case, scholars try to give some responsibilities. What should be the responsibility of project manager vis-a-vis the responsibility of functional manager in case of hybrid type? For instance, project manager is expected to do this, whereas functional manager are expected to do this. But if both negotiate, there is a possibility. There is a possibility. Do you want to negotiate and share some of your responsibilities to functional manager? Is that efficient? Huh? What has to be done? When should the task be done? Whatever, the responsibility of manager. You know how it will be done. Functional functional manager. What has to be done? How? How is more of the procedure? How is more of administration? That's why it's more or less delegated to. How will the project involvement impact normal functional activities as an administration again? That's functional relationship. Choosing appropriate project management structure. Maybe I have tried to touch at the beginning of the PowerPoint slide. Choosing appropriate structure. Well, before coming to this, I wanted to ask you one question. Which one do you choose personally? Which one do you prefer among the three strategies? Which structure is really interesting? Functional, project-based, hybrid.
It depends on the size, many criteria to choose which one is the best. For example, the size of the project may determine. If the size of the project is very small and if you have a very small human resource or some other, you may choose the first one, not the second one.
That's why it says, you know, how important is the project to the farming success. This is one thing that we have to remember. If the project is very, very much crucial for the company, which structure do you think is? Project type. Where is it? Should it be? If critical, project types organization is important. Why?
I think you say if it is very important.
If the project is really very important for your company, it should be organized in such a way that it has its own managers, team, full-fledged expertise there. We have said advantage, efficiency there, fastness is there, whatever. In fact, it has its limitations. What percentage of core work involved in projects? Yeah, what percent? You know, more than 75% of core work involved in project. Think of your company, and if greater than 75% of core work are the project type. Again, it is good if you have this one, this type. I mean dedicated team. It keeps on. Further, you can refer those things. Look at this. The size you have mentioned, like strategic importance, but the novelty and the need for innovation. If the project is very much novel, really totally new to your company, and if its implementation really need high innovation, innovative thinking or innovative technology or whatever, where do you been? Functional? Projectile? Yeah? The higher those, the higher those considerations, the more preferable to bend toward projectized organization structure. Well, I hope I will help you something in the future at least. This is a kind of data. Relative effectiveness of different project structure by type of project. These are structure type we have seen. Functionality there in the one extreme. Projectized organization is there, the other extreme. As we move from here to here, you know, until you know strong matrix. You remember strong what strong matrix means? Yeah, when the power of project manager is higher than. So up to this, you know, was construction project as well as the new product were increasing. Yeah. Why, you know, here, look at the extreme. What do you think in the strong matrix construction, the development of construction companies are registered to be very high? Why? Projectized organization, look at this, construction a bit decline. Strong matrix, very high. Projectized organization, construction companies register decline. Do something? By the way, this is a data. This is real world data collected and represented in terms of this line diagram. And the line diagram shows, as we move from this to this, that means the structure of our project move from functional to the next better, to the next better, to the next better, to the next better. Whether we like it or not, if you look at this line, it shows increasing. This is the most important understanding is. You know, the more you organize your project with a structure similar to either this one or this one, the better the success of your project will be. Imagine it. Okay, it's increasing. It's around here, it's functional. That means functional, relatively speaking, functional organization structure is relatively speaking not good. It's not good for the successful implementation of the project. And relatively speaking, except strong matrix, projectized organization is good for both construction and the new company. But you have to question one difficult thing. Why this is typical? Why? Strong matrix like, but it really goes up. Why do you think? That means projects in the construction company are good if they are organized, not in the projectized way. That's good if we organize in the form of strong matrix. Why? I hope that you understand this will go okay. Yeah, what's your suggestion?
A point of efficiency, I think it is a point of efficiency. So after completing, I think the end of the project is implicated, it's sure. So the staffs, the team member now shift to the original department. So there is no disstability, there is no normal. Without affecting their operation, they can easily transfer their project team to their function department.
Okay, one thing. That's going to be one thing. Okay.
Since the strong matrix, the project manager is more authorized, you can manage easily all staff. It's not only the project manager. Easily utilize the resources, other resources, the financial and the commercial and others. So you can easily decide on the project.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, in case of strong matrix, it has two other advantage. One, project manager has a strong power. Yeah, project manager has a strong power. Second, efficient utilization of the available resource is also possible. One advantage. It has the capacity to make a decision over the project at the time. There is high possibility to collect all important personnel, all the requisite workers from the different functional departments. I hope this will save huge amount of cost. In fact, in this case, it is also very high in the new product. Why new product is a bit smaller? What do you think? New product, as compared to what we call construction company, new product really need this type of organization than this one. Then think again. Think it has its own justifications. One more topic. Issues of organizational culture is also important. When we think of building the capacities of our organization in project management, we have to also take into account what does our organizational culture looks like, and are we, as a project manager, are we in a position to recruit person who can fit to our organizational culture? I believe each organization do have its own organizational culture. Organizational culture means personality of particular organization that differentiates from another organization. I hope Liechtenstein University College culture is quite different from Addis University College, even though both are academic institutions. So the issue is, you can get the definition, but the issue is, when when I'm gonna recruit skilled manpower, I have to consider, as a project manager, I should know the culture, A to Z, the culture of my company. Can this person fit to my company culture? In terms of norms of the work, in terms of, for instance, strictness on following rules and regulations of the company, in terms of, social environment of the workers. This is maybe I think look at this thing. Key dimensions that define organizational culture of a particular company. What does member identity looks like? Is it skewed to the job or skewed to the organization? No. It has its own culture. Does everybody, for instance, forgot about the organization and then do its job and go? Or is each individual always identify himself or herself with the company? Depends. What about theme emphasis? Individualized? Group? This also another. This is one expression of one culture. This is another culture. Or it could be average type for that. What does loose looks like? You can imagine. What does control looks like? Is loose control? Tight control. And maybe around the university, if you look at control, is very loose. If you go to other offices, control is very tight, and in the morning you have to sign, and nighttime you have to sign, and then it's very. So what does really in terms of this whatever, what does the culture of organizations look like? And you consider your company's culture into account while you are. This is my message. No noise. Organizational culture that is not 100% perfect. Scholars suggest that organizational culture that support project management needs to have this type of organizational culture. The one who identify with the organization, the one who identify with the group, team, group. And it's not individualized. If it is individualized, really this is bad. Yeah, that means there is no team spirit. What about this? People task. Where is its location? Average height?
Slightly inclined.
Yeah, slightly inclined to. People focus. Yeah, it should be really. We have to give priority to human being. So if you care for human being, then the human being, I hope so, will care for your job. So the tendency should be there. Lose control is recommended, you say. Lose control. You remember when we talk of skill of leadership, delegation is important. Delegate authority, give them power, then stop frequent controlling. Yeah. Try to ensure accountability only at the end of the day. What is the work you're supposed to do and finish by the end of this week? I don't know. Have it and then try to. Okay. You have something to ask. That's something you see. Questions you have? Questions. Let me just discuss, not discussion actually, but let me introduce you with one more topic, and I ask you to read later on. You not take more than maybe 5 to 10 minutes. You say yes or no. Okay. Section 3 is about organizational learning. Organizational learning, we can use interchangeable ideas. But today's focus is on learning organization. What does it mean? The definition is already there. Organizational learning is an organization skilled at creating, acquiring, transferring knowledge, and at modifying its behavior to reflect new knowledge and insight. What learning organization is an organization who has a preset strategy as to how to create new knowledge, how to get new knowledge from the other, and then try to transfer those knowledge to the rest of its community is called learning organization. Oh. Please don't take it easy. This topic is very important topic. I remember some years back, one of the organizations who is working on some development of some software program. That institution had one, expert who is there to develop software on particular areas, not every type, but on particular software functionalities. And all of a sudden, that person has got a chance and left abroad. So imagine. What do you think what will happen to that company? There were no system by which, there was no strategy system by which the other member of the organization learning from that person. The company closed. Because of the loss of one person, the company closed this project. I don't know how you understand me. Had it been already predetermined, the preset procedures whereby each and every people learn from the other, if that person go, that organization should have used another person. This was not there. I know one person who was registered in one institution. There was no system by which one learned from another. Everything was there in the mind of the registrar. Once the registrar left the company, I tell you, chaos offered in that particular company. Well, these are definitions, whatever is there. Individual learning, organizational learning is there. Maybe types of learning differentiate. This single loop learning is there, double loop learning is there, intro learning is also there. Single loop is a kind of active learning. Active learning in which you try to learn after some problem happens on your company. It's called single loop learning. This is proactive learning, and this is learning with the tool. The tool learning is learning how to implement the single loop learning and the double loop learning. This what is this? I expect you to understand. It's about to indicate slide. Oh, thank you very much. This is